And cheers, pristine. That's good. Make sure it's in that live. Oh, it is live. Good. Click that. Mute that. Pop on chat here. That's good. We'll close this. Which now. Should have done this prior. Which. Okay. I always forget at least one thing.
And so, like, I'd love to talk about, like, Steve, when you.
Okay, there we go. Oh, it kept all my stuff. Cool. Wasn't doing that before for whatever reason. It wasn't keeping my tags. So it just randomly started doing that for some reason. Just in general. It doesn't do it on my computer. Doing that for some reason. Just in general. Every time I go live, I have to restart them all. Every time I go live, I have to restart them all. And close this. Oh. Everything's working like it's supposed to be. So, and I have YouTube chat here. You were definitely first, Metal. How you doing today, buddy? Oh, quick. And I do apologize in advance for the audio. You doing okay? You suppose? So you're like, you're not certain, or you know you could be doing worse type of thing? Oh, you get a stacked electric bill? That does suck. I mean, 4 months of electric. Oh, gotcha. What happened? I don't think the audio is too bad. Little fuzzy? All right, no, not too bad. Considering how I'm using, that might just be the headphones. They come in a little fuzzy sometimes. There's also a setting, like a noise canceling setting. So like if I randomly long press, it'll make a couple beeps and it'll be like fuzzy sounding, and I don't know how to turn that off. $175 for an electric bill is pretty damn good. Yeah, the noise gate suppression thing is a little off. So like it can't really hear the TV too much, but if you talk, it can hear you no problem. The headphones are just a little sensitive, I think. You're finally responsible adults when it comes to electric? Hell yeah. Yeah, that poem is good, Metal. It's just, like I said, I think it's just like the cadence for me that I don't really prefer, but like the cadence is how I'm reading it, so that's nothing has nothing to do with how you wrote it, you know. So that's the thing. It'd probably hit a little different if like you were reading it to me because you would read it as you intended it to flow, so that it would be different. What site is that? I'm not familiar with the site it's on. And dude, you'll appreciate this. This is the built-in webcam on the laptop I'm using. This fucking webcam's like better than the camera I have. Oh, okay, gotcha. No, not bad at all. I have a C922 and like it's not as good as this. Webcams are a pain in the ass. The only thing I've seen that's like an actual decent webcam is like if you get a mirrorless. And they're fucking expensive, dude. Were you able to find a good resolution with your friend? Awesome, that's good. Good stuff. So you up to now? You just on your lunch break? And how was the eclipse? He was at like 90 some percent. So full ass eclipse. Oh, gotcha. Cool. How's the store going? Are you kind of on call as part of your job? Oh, working on funding still. That's usually the shittiest part of all that. But once you get that hurdle figured out, you should be all right. Good to go, you know? You do them as they come in. Gotcha. Not too bad. So if you're not working on a ticket, you're just kind of hanging out. What's going on, Dalton? How you doing today, buddy? It's going pretty good. Just hanging out. I got called into work last night, but I didn't have to do a full shift. It was only, I think, like 5 hours, which is good because I'm fucking exhausted. So pretty well. It's relaxing, streaming from my girlfriend's laptop. And it took me fucking forever because it wouldn't let Streamlabs pop up for me to log in. There's like this weird, you had to like go to log in through Facebook and then hit not now, so it gave you the options again. And if I tried logging in with my Streamlabs ID, it just crashed. But I didn't realize that all my shit's set up through my Twitch login anyway. So it took me like almost an hour to literally just log in the stream. One of those things. How are you doing today? I don't know if we've talked before, Dalton. I kind of recognize the name from comments. Yeah, it's the thing. I like doing this because I have the Ultra, so I can multi-stream. So I didn't want to get into all that like restream shit, and apparently there's been like huge problems with restream anyway. Hell yeah, where are you from, Dalton? No, we definitely not talked then. I don't know who Weed Stars is. I actually haven't even seen any lives on YouTube. Prior to starting my YouTube shorts, I was only doing Twitch. Yeah, it's just like I don't use Restream. I only use Streamlabs Desktop. It's a one and done. It's $9 a month to multi-stream, and you can do up to 3 at a time. So like if I felt it was super relevant, I would like set up to do like Facebook gaming or something. You can do Kick, but Kick's a fucking dumpster fire. I'm from Northern California. I moved here from Massachusetts about 5 years ago. Yeah, I decided to like do the multi-stream because like I've gotten like a few donations through just YouTube, like people reading my stuff and like sending it to PayPal or Cash App or whatever. And then like I do make a little bit of money off of Twitch, so like it pays for itself. So before I was like using my computer to stream to Twitch and then my phone to stream to YouTube. And a mixture of complications and my own dumbassery caused a lot of problems. Especially because I was using the same sign-in app on both devices, and it does not like that. So it would run it, but it would like cut my Twitch stream after like a minute. And like I'm pretty consistent-ish, other than like if I need a break because I do the mental health stuff. So sometimes I just need a break from, taking on the world's problems type of thing. But I try to stay consistent on Twitch. So for like 3 weeks, it wasn't actually streaming to Twitch. It was just overriding onto my phone, and I was only streaming on YouTube. So I was like, all right, fuck it. It's $9 a month. It takes like 4 or 5 months for my payout to happen on Twitch to hit that $50 mark or whatever. But then it still averages out, so it pays for itself. So it works. But I tried streaming for a long time on OBS, and it's so fucking clunky. I know you can do a lot more with it, but I mean, comparatively, like if I had my normal mic set up and all that stuff, like I have nose gate all set up and ducking and all that. So like anything I can do on OBS I can do on Streamlabs. And the interface is a little nicer with Streamlabs. Yeah, just kind of hanging out. I haven't really streamed much. I didn't stream last weekend or the weekend before. So I streamed yesterday, and then I was going to stream last night, but I got called into work. And then on, I was just like, you can try it out on my laptop. It's new. So Candace, were you able to see the eclipse pretty well? I was outside for it. Here there was no real visibility. And it'd be cool if I had a better network and a better phone. I could actually, I think the phone can handle it, but a better network for sure. I could go out and like walk around town. There's some cool shit here, like aesthetic wise. A lot of people high on crystal meth, but you can show them off too, I guess. Your boss likes you at work? Hell yeah. My boss be liking me too, because me and him are fucking holding the place together right now. It's been kind of a repetitive shit show for the last couple months. It's nobody's real fault in our facility. It's higher ups causing problems. Does it work better? It works. It's about the same smoothness as my computer. So this is a 7000 series Ryzen with the AMD graphics, like that weird, like virtual graphics. But this is a webcam and a $20 Bluetooth headphone. So like I'd say it's fucking crushing it for what it's doing, streaming to 2 different platforms at the same time. The only real difference is when I'm on my computer, I usually have a game in the background that I play. That like I don't show the game or anything, so it can handle that. I don't think this would be able to. It might be able to multitask like that, but and like it downloaded stuff pretty quick. It's handling stuff pretty good. It's a good little laptop. It's not like a state of the art style one, but it works pretty good. I'd say it works about the same as it does on my computer. The only thing different is like my so I'm probably getting really loud. I doubt the ducking is even working. But it doesn't look like it's dampening as I talk. So if I get pretty loud, it matches. I had that stuff set up so like it keeps my voice at relatively the same level, whether I'm whispering or screaming. But that's specific to the Yeti mic I have. So like for just chatting, this is like a, basically like a $450-ish setup, and it's working pretty damn good. Like surprisingly so. I was expecting like frame drops and shit, and I'm not getting any type of notification that there's any problems. But yeah, that's what I do, Dalton. I sit and like it's just a spot to talk and bullshit and nothing fancy. It's mental health focused, so we have a mental health Discord community thing, which is surprising because it kind of died off a little bit as Discords do. But it was surprising waking up this morning and like I think it was like 6 people were just like casually had a conversation last night in there. So it was pretty cool. Yeah, that's kind of similar to what we have going on at Work Metal. Like my boss is doing way the fuck more than he should. He's supposed to just be doing administration stuff, and he's doing basically my job on top of his job. And then we're having call out issues and staffing issues. So like it's leaving me at a set 4-hour schedule, but because of call outs, I've been doing like not 4-hour schedule, 4 days a week. So they're 12.5-hour shifts. And because of call outs, I've been doing 5. And like my boss's peers and direct like the people that are lateral to him and his direct boss are like, they're fucking getting pissed off about overtime kind of across the board with the company, and I'm getting a shitload of it. So like last night I was supposed to work. I was going to do the full thing, and my boss like basically just took a nap real quick and got me an Uber. He's like, yeah, no, I can't do it, because it would have put me, like practically wise, I would have probably ended up getting 72 hours this week if I did all of last night. It was cool too. I had a really cool conversation with my Uber driver. He's an immigrant from Mexico, and he's been here 4 months, and his English is fucking extremely good. And it was funny because I couldn't place his dialect, because I thought like he looked Mexican, but I was thinking like Brazilian, maybe Portuguese, something like that, because like he had a very like guttural accent. It was southeast Mexico, and like we were talking, and I'd asked him what he thought about Americans, and he was like, they complain a lot. Yep, that's about right, dude. Because he was talking about like where he was living, like the choice every day was like sleep inside or eat. Like it was a daily choice you had to make which one you wanted to do. So it was like weather dependent and mood dependent. He was like talking about like there's no real actual jobs there, and if you can actually land one, the pay's garbage. Like you can't, like you work all day and you can't afford a meal. So it's like stuff like that. So he's living in like one of the most expensive cities in the country, and he's like, it's easy. Like I pay for a place to live, and I eat every day, and I have my car. I guess this is his first time even owning a car. This is when he got here. No, he's not wrong at all. Like I grew up in poverty, and I've seen a good chunk of the world. So like, I know like just outright, like even though I'm aware of it, like I have a lot of fucking privilege being an American. But it was a cool conversation. I don't think he expected to have a conversation like that. And he even brought up, he's like, I don't know if you do like politics or anything. He's like, between like Joe and Trump, which I thought it was really funny that he used one's first name and one's last name. But I was like, oh, I'm Trump. He's like, yeah, me too. And it's for the same reason. He's like, it's because you know what he's doing. Like he might say some stupid fucking wild shit, and like some of his ideas come across as a little extreme for sure, but like he's not beating around the bush and like saying one thing and doing another as much as other presidents have. And even him, he was like, the whole thing, he's like, the gas prices are just crazy. Like he's like, he like researched it. He's like, 5 years ago the gas prices were way lower. But he did, he was living in Arizona, I guess, for like a month, and fucking just couldn't do the heat and the cold, like the contrast, so he moved to Sacramento. But it was cool hearing his perspective on everything. That's like my whole thing with Trump. I might not agree everything with what he's doing or how he's even like conducting himself. I mean, his crowd work is fucking immaculate. He knows how to get people fucking pumped up, but like, I don't think he's doing slimy shit because he's a billionaire businessman. They all do slimy shit, but like, he's kind of honest about it. I just don't like how it's all boiled down to like deciding which senior citizen determines how many bathrooms are at a school. It's like fucking weird. Straight living in an episode of South Park. Oh, that's good. At least he's showing the gratitude medal. That's what's going on at work, because like I have technically a supervisor, but like they've been looking to me to figure stuff out, and my coworkers look to me to figure stuff out. So like that's why whole talk has been like, hey, this facility has a unit manager. I know we can't do it now because we have to be closer to full. to justify it because the whole financial part of everything. And I was like, just have me do it. He's like, oh, no problem. And then it's progressed into like, I am willing to do the position and not get paid for it right now with the guarantee that it's coming. So it's good. We get a new girl that's supposed to be starting at some point. I'm gonna have to train her for. I don't know if she's gonna train on days once and train on nights once, because she was supposed to just doing training just for nights to like hammer that in and then start on nights. I'm not sure. And he's a good boss. He was talking to me last night about he's going to try to calculate how much people are spending on gas every week and giving us all gas cards. And I'll tell you that he wants to do gas cards for everybody. And then he was talking about buying everybody lunch once a week. I was like, that's too much. Yeah. I was like, once a month maybe. Yeah. And like he's like, I can do once a week. I was like, right now it's 3 employees, but like, you know, get 6 of us used to getting lunch every week, and then all of a sudden there's 9 employees and you can't afford it. Like, I was like, just do. I think once a month is fine.
My opinion of once a week is it becomes something that wouldn't be appreciated as much.
Yeah, once a month too is like it's more of a treat. Like,
right.
Yeah. So I thought it was cool that the gas card thing.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, that's like a cool one-off, and he's talking about just straight up doing it, like paying. His exact words were like, I'm running around claiming that I'm a Marxist and I need to start putting my money where my mouth is. Yeah, that's what I told him. I was like, don't fucking gas yourself out. You have a new family and like.
I guess if you talk to the wife and that's what's important.
Yeah.
I can figure out mileage. I just filled that yesterday for $85.
Yeah.
And I go through over a tank of gas a week.
Yeah. I told him we're pretty much close to $150 a month.
Oh, it's more than that.
For just getting to work. I know we're at more than that for everything, but
it's more than that.
Oh, is it?
Getting to work.
I don't know if he'd want to do the round trip thing. I think it would be paid as if I had a vehicle. So like one way there, one way back. But at least covering half of it, it's really. And I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I'm gonna end up having to cash out stock, regardless, probably all of it. And pull the money. The registry sent the owner of the truck paperwork.
Oh.
Because it's technically Preston owns it, but he's selling it to me, but it's all tied to her still. So Jenna brought it up of like, hey, you still planning on doing something with that truck? I was like, yeah, I just don't have any fucking money. Like, you know, I've been trying to slowly get a little savings going, but I just have no money. And she was just like, oh yeah, she got stuff from the registry. She's like, if you plan on doing something with it, keep it here as long as you want. Just keep in mind that like, as the back registration goes up, it's not in Preston's name, so someone else is getting bills for it and stressing them out.
Oh.
And then, like, Daniel was like, it's not her fucking responsibility. I was like, it kind of is. Like, it's like all in her name and stuff. I don't want to scumbag it and just I don't want to let it sit there and roll up anyway. I want to get that fucking registration up. I just got to figure out really insurance. I have enough money to cover getting the registration and the title switch. It'd probably close to break even driving myself to work with a truck, because then it's only one direction. The truck gets better gas mileage than the Volvo. It'd be pretty close to, you know, as long as the insurance isn't crazy high. What's going on, Ruby? How you doing today? It's been a while since you've been up in the Twitch. How you been? You're amazing and you're so happy. That is, like, is everything okay? Are you on drugs? Usually you come ripping in here and you're like, you know, talking about your grandma being a bitch and people being mean to you at school. So this is good. This is a happy occasion. What's got you so happy? I'm trying to backpedal because I just shit on you being happy and I don't like that. You learned how to be happy? How'd you do that? Down with the healthy fuckets? You're lucky to even be walking right now? Oh, what happened? What's the story? Or do you just mean in general? Just did? It just kind of all clicked into place in your head? Well, that's good. You fell off your dirt bike. The person behind you landed on you. So, like, pretty little good pile up going on. Just a couple bruises and a scrape or two. Hopefully that's it. Oh, that's really nice of you to say. Yeah, I had to take a little step back from streaming for a couple weeks. I had some of my own inside my head shit going on, and I was getting really stressed out because of mainly just work stuff. Work stuff has got me pretty fucking stressed. But it's nice because I'm kind of in charge of fixing the shit that's been stressing me out. So I'll take it. You were in the hospital for a week, so it wasn't just a casual couple bumps. It was actually like some shit. Okay, fair enough. You got 2 weeks off. There you go. Little break from school. Impromptu holiday. You went to bed at 5 a.m. Why were you up so late? Couldn't sleep? I'm gonna have to like push myself to stay awake late tonight. See what's going on. Maybe movies, or maybe I'll stream again or something. I don't know. But I'm gonna have to stay awake. Hopefully till like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. That way, like I can theoretically, or the other option is go to bed early so I can wake up early, so then I can take a nap before work. I don't know. My boss knows I'm fucking tired. He's taken down to like, you're playing Minecraft, fair enough. Yeah, I go and I streamed it. Everybody made fun of me because I sucked at it. And I was also doing like one of the biggest mod packs you could. I think it was like, not the biggest, but I think it was Project Ozone. So it was like, it wasn't even just trying to learn the base game. It was trying to learn all the mods at the same time. So it was a shit show. And I didn't know stuff like crouching made it so you didn't fall off of blocks and shit. Like the basic stuff. I've been waking up with a lot more energy too. I'm at 10 days without smoking. Like I'm still doing nicotine. I still got nicotine rolling in, but like I haven't smoked. So I'm feeling a lot like I'm noticing I'm not sleeping as much, but it's more restful sleep. Which is interesting because for a while I was waking up like just in time to go into work. And now I get up a few hours earlier without really being woken up. Oh, gotcha. You played Minecraft for 7 years? Yeah, I played it like when it first really became popular, and I played it on a fob in 2009. So like it wasn't even like, it was just a like ultra vanilla. Like I'm pretty sure fucking pigs weren't even in the game when I was playing it. Fair enough. Do you play, well, obviously Bed Wars is a different thing, custom games. But do you predominantly, like, if you play it, do you play, like, vanilla, or do you do all the modded stuff? The first game I played modded was Terraria, because I played it through the base game, and then I started doing the mods. 8:47 p.m.? Yeah. You're 8 hours ahead of me. It's coming up on 1 p.m. here now. I gotcha. That makes sense. Street dance an hour. Oh, it's good that you're back to doing street dance. You training for a charity match? What's the charity? Some cancer research thing? Fair enough. I'd try to fix my noise gate here real quick, so it doesn't pick up the TV anymore. I can remember how decibels work. I think I want to turn this up and this up. I don't know if that made it better or worse. All right, see you in a moment. Open threshold would be a lot. Yeah, that's what I want. Picking it up a little bit, but not too much I can do about it. What's going on, Chris? How you doing today? It's good to see you again. 2 days in a row. Fuck yeah. You always have very interesting questions. I like seeing you in chat. Yeah, I'm good. Just sitting here hanging out, relaxing, playing random games on my phone. I'm at my girlfriend's house, so we're just sitting here. I'm glad to hear you're doing well. I'm just sitting here. I kind of just wait for people to show up before I start talking. Any reason I'm not wearing my cap? Yeah, because there's actually heat in here. So that's twice it's been mentioned. Reno came in yesterday right when I started streaming. He was like, "You should really throw people off and wear a different hat." You can't hear what I'm hearing? What do you mean? Oh, that's the TV in the background. It should be like barely noticeable. I don't know. I have my noise filter gate pretty much all the way up, and it seems to still be coming through. I don't have my normal mic, so it's the settings aren't as great. Yeah, it's the best I can do it and still be able to talk. My normal setup. No, what are you up to today, bud? More work? On lunch break? What do you do for work? And also, are you also a veteran, or do you just have questions about it? That seemed to be your main line of focus yesterday. You freelance as a producer's assistant. Fair enough. I kind of did this similar thing, I guess. I freelanced as an analyst and developer for a good while. Lots of writing. Fair enough. Yeah, I did a lot of like production, like factories and stuff, optimizing CNC cutting patterns and processes. Oh, hell yeah. That's awesome, dude. Just kind of more casual, a little bit of extra income, some beer money. Few hours a day, hell yeah. Do you do it because you have to, or do you do it just kind of keep you busy? All right, Dalton, it was nice meeting you, buddy, and talking to you for a little bit. So you don't drink or smoke? I don't do. I got like a vape in my nicotine pouches, and like every now and again, pretty much just at work, an energy drink. So we were talking about yesterday. Like the next logical step for me is I'm gonna have to start exercising, like intentionally, because without the cigarettes, I'm gonna start gaining weight. And my frame in previous injuries does not like me going past 200 pounds. I just fucking constant pain in my back and knees from it. Oh, you're into theater? Fair enough. I could never really get into it. I've seen some plays and I've been to like opera and ballet and stuff. I did like the bougie shit back in the day, and I just couldn't really get into it. Not my thing. I'm more like order a large pizza and watch the X-Men. You know. X-Men is fine too. Yeah. I have poor people taste. That's all it really is. But whatever works. Ain't nothing wrong with like an opera. Oh, it's definitely challenging. It's hard. Like severe mental illness is very challenging to work around. And it becomes like a, if you have it most of your life, you're emotionally challenged as well. The limited understanding of their own emotions can be difficult. So it's like being very angry, but not really knowing you're angry, but you're doing angry shit, and then you're confused about why people are like, whoa, what's going on? So it's stuff like that. It's correct. So that's basically what we're fighting into right now with one of our clients. And like there's other challenges because there's like it's been a few months we've had somebody and it's been brought up of like, well, maybe he needs to go back to a higher level of care, like a locked facility and stuff. So there's been mornings where I get out work and I'm crying, like just upset. And then other nights when it's just been a really fucking long night and like people underestimate the toll it takes on you, and you have like a schizophrenic screaming at you for upwards of 12 hours straight. How taxing it can be. I try to detach a lot. I play a lot of games on like my phone. I watch a lot of YouTube. This helps me, like streaming and just chatting with people helps to a point. Sometimes it can be harmful as I'm trying to talk, like let it out. I'm not really great at processing things in real time. I'm good at handling stressful moments, but as soon as the moment's over and the shit starts to catch up, I'm not very good at handling it. So that's why I started this whole gaslighting myself thing. It's been mildly successful. I'm just back to stuffing all my shit again because there's no real way to let it out outside of probably going back to therapy would help me out because it's a spot I can let shit out. But I've always been an advocate for seeing a therapist for pretty much everybody. Doesn't even matter. Even if you think you're doing well, you can go to therapy and get some value out of it. And that's a lot of what it is. If it's a high stress situation or a scary situation, I do fine. I shine. The issues that come with that is once I have decided for myself it is not a high enough stress situation, I dismiss it. So it could be something that feels life and death for somebody else, and if I don't view it that way, I just completely disregard. It makes me a pretty hard person to approach and talk to about things like that. So I've been trying to be a little bit more sensitive to it. But a lot of how I view things is very polarized. I could definitely see too how it'd be perplexing for someone to think that way. But it's what I'm the most accustomed to. Or not most accustomed to, because I've had certainly longer periods in life of not high stress like that. But even those, sitting in low stress for so long, it kind of I seek, it's part of PTSD, so you seek out the feeling and you seek out the behavior and all that stuff. So if I'm sitting in peace too long, I get fucking squirrely as fuck. I was so and I'm the opposite. I grew up in a very high stress environment, not a very emotionally stable or even physically stable place. But I saw a lot of people that were it's one of those especially infantry. It just sounds good. Oh yeah, I could definitely do that. And then you actually get over there, you're about to deploy, and you're oh fuck, I made a mistake. And a lot of those people, you end up just adapting because you have no other choice. It's a lot of what it is. If you remove all the choice and everything, you get used to it really quick. But it's the aftermath. Telling yourself you don't have to be used to it anymore is difficult. horrid shit to me, kind of like the stuff that was going on when the Vietnam vets came back. The biggest, kind of most comical one is that if I was smarter, I wouldn't have joined. So, like, the conflation that, like, infantrymen are just stupid. To be fair, a lot of them are. You know, it's the lowest score you have to get to be in the military, but I got a 98 on my ASVABs. I was originally going to do Intel analytics, so, like, you need a top secret clearance, and, like, you need the highest scoring bracket you have to get for a job in the Army. So I ended up doing double basic training because I did basic training as at Fort Jackson as an analyst, but then I had to do it for infantry, so I had to go to Benning. Say respect, so to speak. Yes, for someone suffering from the same things I have suffered, I have a lot of empathy for. It comes through a lot at my job because I was in psychiatric facilities and locked facilities. I went to an asylum when I was a kid. Like, so I have that going on at work, and same people that are getting out of their wars. They don't have to be American. Like, I understand what it is to be in war. So I have a lot of empathy for them. Overall, I'm not a very empathetic person. Well, I guess I'm pretty empathetic. I'm not a very sympathetic person. I don't know how to do sympathy all that well. Like the whole, like, oh, poor baby, it'll be okay. I don't know. I'm not good at that. And it fluctuates. That's actually what I was talking about in my short the other day of, like, some people first impression of me or understanding of me is that I'm but, like, it impairs how your brain just functions. And it impacts, like, how expansive your vocabulary is, like, how articulate you are. Like, it impacts all of that. I feel like most Americans have no understanding what suffering actually is. Broad rule of thumb, if I had to put a number on it, I would say it's somewhere in the 90th percentile. They don't understand what actual suffering is. It's hard. You can see videos of rockets getting launched into a hospital in Gaza, but unless you're standing right there, you don't know what the fuck that is. It's the lack of the full experience. So you can see it and be like, oh, that's a tragedy, but you're not hearing the layers of screaming, only what the audio is picking up. You're not smelling it. You're not tasting it. Like, it's being in a war zone is a complete experience. Like, you can watch Saving Private Ryan and be like, oh, wow, that was fucked up. But unless you were at D-Day, you have no idea. So it's the same thing. Like, I don't know. Like, guerrilla warfare was throughout the Middle East. We were still doing the same thing, but it was a different level in Vietnam. So, like, as far as brutality goes, there's a disconnect between Iraq war vets and Vietnam war vets. But, like, you can only know what you know. Like, I try to put it as, like, if you've never had a toothache, nobody will ever be able to accurately describe to you what a toothache feels like. You have to know to know, you know? And, like, Americans overall, globally, are extremely sheltered. Depends when you meet them. I would fairly be classified as a shattered person. It's all stages. I have clients that are far more mentally shattered than I am, like way more, but who I was 10 years ago I was in complete psychosis. Like, you couldn't approach me, you couldn't talk to me. Similar to where kind of one of my clients is at right now. And I improved. I got on the right medication. I got sober. That was a big part of it. Getting off drugs and stopping drinking was a huge part of my mental health stuff. And, like, consistent practice. Like, some things I'm still not very great at. Well, I can articulate how I'm feeling but it's not in a very healthy way or constructive way. So it's like, considering what my issues were 10 years ago, they're like very small, but still things I'm trying to work on. Like, when you're at a certain point of mental health issues, it's a forever, never-ending job. The job. But nobody stays, like, if you get on the right path, nobody stays fucked off forever. Like, I think everybody can improve. Like, that's like, there's measures of schizophrenia. I ran schizophrenia when I started the job because my mom was diagnosed schizophrenic. And she acted in a way that none of my current clients act. The behavior she had and stuff, I would never picture anybody that I work with to do that. So she, like, in talking to coworkers about it who have been in the mental health field on the clinician side for a while, they're like, that doesn't sound like schizophrenia. Like, I had the like movie experience of like the extreme heightened paranoia and the fear and, you know, the lashing out, all that. That's what my mom was. And that's like not a thing. I mean, I almost got hit once. That almost happened. Client was very elevated and having just a really hard go of things that night. So it happens. I kind of already anticipated it being part of my job, and I'm cool with it. I got punched. I don't even know how long ago it was. 8-9 months ago. I was going on a lot of walks at night. Ended up hitting me, and it was like I could have fucking beat the absolute shit out of this dude, but he was like 130 pounds and had probably been smoking meth for like the last couple years. Just like it one of those, like, in the exact moment I was like, I would not feel like a good person for hitting this guy. So stuff like that. But even him, like, someone that far gone on it, they get sober, they start doing the right shit and get a job, get some of their self-worth back, because you lose a lot of it. And he could be an outstanding citizen, you know what I mean? Do drugs affect libido? Yeah, some of them do. That can be a main side effect, depending on what you're on. And I got extremely paranoid, and I stayed that way for a while. It had ended a little over a year ago. But it was going on for like a good 1.5 to 2 year period. I was stuck in it. So now I'm like doing this weird thing where I have to, like, because it was real to me. That's the big issue. It was real to me, even though it wasn't real to anybody else or in actuality real at all. It was real to me. So all the feelings that come with it are still lingering. So it's fucking weird. It's like trying to process and accept things that never happened because they happen to you. And like, we actually have a client at one of the lewd, and we can't get it to unstick. And I'm having some personal stuff that's not unsticking as well. That's just kind of sitting there chilling. It's weird. The human brain is fucking capable of like some bizarre fucking impressive shit, you know? How you doing, Leon the Medico? It's nice to meet you. How are you doing today? What brings you to my neck of the woods? Just kind of scrolling through? I'm doing good. Sitting here, shooting shit, pretty much. Absolutely, Chris. It's nice meeting you. Meeting you. I've talked to you like a ton of times. It's nice talking with you again. I hope the rest of your shift goes well. Nice and easy. I didn't see you roll into the Discord, so did you re-need the link, or did you forget, or were you humoring me with the link, or what? I am. I'm in Western United States, but I've been to a large variety of other countries. Where are you from? And it's actually funny because a large portion of the community I have on Twitch, YouTube, and in Discord are from the EU and Asia. You're from Eastern Europe? What country? The other thing that hangs me up is really funny because I've met a few people that are from South Africa, and they say South Africa, and I go, oh, what part? And they're like, South Africa, because it's its own ass country. Macedonia. You were the first Macedonian I've met on Twitch, for sure. What's your favorite part about Macedonia? I don't know anything about Macedonia. I meet people on here and end up Googling stuff and researching stuff, and we talk about stuff going on in their country and stuff like that. So you're the first, so I have no knowledge of Macedonia. Nowadays, it's a third world corrupt country, so it's kind of following suit with all the other countries. The equilibrium of global economics is leaning that way. So I kind of just tell people, like, the first world countries, the superpowers, are just higher up on that arc, but we're still trending that way. Well, if you could pick anywhere to live, where would you pick? Or would you stay in Macedonia? Like, I assume you have, family and stuff there. Oh yeah, that's no problem. I will be 32 in July. Fair enough. It's interesting too because I guess bracket of appeal is late teens to mid 20s. That's usually what comes through when I'm all tagged out with the mental health stuff. Maybe Western Europe. Fair enough. I've still been like, so I basically want to stay in the U.S., but I don't like the state I live in. Which that's like the cool thing because U.S. is one country, but each state is kind of like its own country with the way it does things. I don't recommend people come to the U.S. Unless they have no real other option. One of my friends that I met through doing this is Filipino, and the Philippines economy is really fucking bad, and he's just struggling. He wants to indefinitely end up in Canada, though. But he's just kind of at a point, he's like, I just take anything. I talked to him a little bit about it. It's like doing some research. We kind of did some research on how much a work visa costs and a flight. We ain't, I ain't exactly well off financially, but it's not a lot of money comparison. Like, $600-700-ish. And I'd be able to help him like find a job here in town, figure all that stuff out. It depends what state you're in. Whether I have insurance, whether I don't, doesn't matter. I'm going to have my life saved. I will be brought to the emergency room. They'll treat me. They'll save me. Not every country's like that. Some countries you just die. And then the whole like medical bill shit, that's like a way over exaggeration where you see like the medical bills for $100,000. Like, yeah, those bills happen, but the hospitals are usually like more than okay with writing off 95% of it. So you don't pay that. Like, long run when you're young, you pay less. I have background health issues, but like the standard 30-year-old ain't really going to the doctors or specialists or anything that much. So it doesn't really cost anything. And the breakdown for most places, like Denmark, is around 60% taxes. Obviously, that contributes to like the universal health care, education. It goes to schools, and it actually goes predominantly where it's supposed to. Where in America, it's to cover it. So, does that mean is there also a mandated minimum wage? And if so, did that go down when the mandate came in that your employer has to cover you? Because I could be wrong, but I don't foresee any type of company being able to function without like some type of capitalist drive. There's no point in anybody starting a business if they can't keep any of their money. Unless like you're trying purposely to do a nonprofit, but even then, you do have a minimum salary. So did that increase or go down? Or I assume it would kind of, like, that's the thing. I only know really how that stuff works through capitalism, where like every year cost of living goes up, so minimum wage usually goes up. So it pays depending on how big the salary is. So it's kind of on a scale. That's how state insurance works. So my insurance right now is free once I hit a cap on money earned, which I actually have to go into Human Services office and basically cancel my health insurance because they think I'm already at that threshold, or it'll get cheaper. So like it becomes cheaper. It's really not that bad though. Even if I got health insurance through my company, which is a dog shit premium, it'd be like, I think it's like $140 a month for myself. And that makes it so I have co-pays and shit, but like my complete like medical expenses would only be like, right now, if I stay healthy and nothing bad happens, like $2,000 a year. Where like a place like Denmark takes an extra 10% out of your pay, so it's way the fuck more than $2,000 a year. So it's like looking at it as a whole. I don't think the system that we're using is the best system. Like it could definitely have improvements. That's not what I'm saying at all. It is fucked over here relatively. I also like the ability to have choice. So like, obviously, like if your employer is covering your insurance, it's not really on you, so that works out. But like, I can choose to basically, it's illegal not to have health insurance here. I can choose at the end of the year to pay a fine. And standard, typically speaking, the fine is lower than if I just actually paid for it. It's really, I think it's like a fucking $900 fine, $950 maybe. It changes kind of every year. What we really need to get fuck rid of here that makes no sense, because our taxes are pretty fucking high. Just right out of the gate, you're at like somewhere between 40 and 50% of your paycheck is taken. It's the sales tax that fucking bothers me. It's like, what's all that other fucking tax for? If you have to, when you go buy something, you have to pay a tax again. Like, I don't get why I'm paying to the state and the federal government, and then at the same time, every purchase paying another tax to the state and federal government. It just doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it all depends where you are. Like, I'm not the healthiest person there is, but I can get by pretty good without health insurance. With the exception, like, it bites you in the ass because if you end up getting sick, you're fucked. So, like, when I got diagnosed with cancer in 2015, I did not have health insurance, and I was fucked. Like, that was some big, big bills. And then most insurance companies, private-wise anyway, if you go to them and you're like, hey, I need insurance, they, like, want to know what your medical history is looking like. And a lot of places here are just like, yeah, no, we're not going to insure you for anything reasonable. It's like a weird fucking deductible situation. You have, like, some health issues and stuff. Most of my stuff now is psychiatric care. The ability that if I need to go get my head screwed back on, I kind of need insurance to do that. But even here, like, you just tell them you're destitute, and, like, same thing works at they can't, like, pharmacists can't deny medication. So if you just tell them you're homeless and destitute, they have to give it to you. It's weird though, because California can bring you to court for medical bills. And then, like, it's not close to everybody owning a gun here. A lot of people own guns. It's probably more than half the population owns guns. It's really just like the people, like, that are in the guns, they don't just own one. That's why there's so many guns here. Like, if you own a gun, there's a good chance you have at least 3. You know what I mean? Fair enough. So, yeah, it sounds like your health insurance structure is kind of the same as ours. Except it's, mandated that the employer has to hold it. I don't know what it would cost to get a gallbladder removed here. I would guess even with, like, decent-ish insurance, because it's all, like, coverage-based and all that, I would guess it'd probably be around, like, $2,000 with okay-ish insurance. But you're, like, not getting railroaded and taxed the whole time is the whole thing. So, like, spam call. So, Macedonia. I forget always that I'm sitting in a computer and I have a phone, so I can, like, Google shit. I've just been sitting here playing a game. So I can do things based off of what I pay in tax now and compare it to what the taxes are in other places and see how much of my paycheck it would eat. It's a good quick way to see if it'd be like that system would be better for me personally. Yeah, we do have nice hospitals, and, like, it really depends where you are. Like, inner city, if you go to the emergency room with a gunshot wound, you're waiting 3-4 hours. They just tell you to, like, be quiet and sit in the corner. But, like, smaller places, like the town I'm in, like, relatively quick. It's definitely not an in and out process, but I don't think any hospital is. But a lot of places that have the universal health care, their main complaint is, like, how long they're waiting to get into the doctors. And I've been in hospitals in other countries that were not great. Interesting. So you have a scale. So it's anywhere from 25 to 33%. So your taxes are actually less. Interesting. That's on a scale. So California kind of does the same thing where it's like up to this amount of money, and then up to this amount of money your taxes change. And then I don't know what the MKD rate is. I don't even know what that denomination is. Macedonian dinar. 56.69. So it's actually about the same as the Philippines. The Philippines is, I think, 52 or 54 Filipino pesos. Yeah. Well, that's the thing here too. Like comparatively, hospital food here is pretty gross too. But that's compared to what our standard meal, basic meal costs you. That's usually a good gauge because like. Whoa. 2 to 3 USD. Fair enough. No, it depends. Oh, obviously, it depends on what kind of meal. Like I always gauge everything off like the standard dinner, like what you eat at supper time. Oh yeah, with a type of wage like that, we'd all starve to death and die. The average can be less than 2 USD. Fair enough. Yeah, so you guys' minimum is 317.56 USD a month. But that's the thing though, like your meals are a lot cheaper. Like for me, like a good dinner, like to be filled up on, the cheapest you could go would probably be like close to $20. Welcome back, Metal. Yeah, so like 380 USD like a month. Um, so that's the difference. But then like I was talking to my friend Nate, who's the Filipino guy, is like, food's cheap, like rent's still cheap, there's lower taxes, but like the accessibility to jobs is a huge problem. Well, that's the thing. It's starting to happen. My Uber driver was actually talking to me about it. He's like, there's a lot of Americans that are moving to Mexico. And it's because, like, I would assume it'd be the same with, like, the Philippines. Macedonia seems to be kind of in the relatively same spot that the Philippines are in. But, like, you save up $100,000, you go retire in a place like that. He's like, they're all younger-ish, like in their 40s. And, like, they're planning on just staying there the rest of their life, you know? Yeah, that makes sense too. Like it would save a lot of people if you can get by pretty good with like here like cucumbers, tomatoes, like a little lettuce patch or something, and like mitigate some of your food expenses for sure. You have a degree in medical sciences for 420 USD per month. Oh, so you're just straight getting underpaid. So like the average kind of salary is a lot higher. Yeah, but if you're on the younger side, I guess that kind of makes sense. Because like if the averages are pulled off of the total average, so it's got a lot of people that have you know been doing the job for 10, 15, 20 years. Oh yeah, for sure, because I'm at about like safely without a shitload of overtime like $2,500 a month. What's going on, Twit? How you doing, man? It's a long time no see. Yeah, it's like 142,000 dinar a month. $250 USD for rent, though. So you're at the juggling act where you're like, you don't really get to eat, 3 meals. 1 or 2 a day. I typically, like, my standard for most of my life is like 1 large meal in the evening. Yeah, you can visit anytime, Twitch. And we're always available on Discord, too. It seems like the Discord's starting to come back to life again. So people have been around. Meat's expensive here, too. There's a place in town, though, that they have, like, fucking really good meat. They'll cook it all for you and shit. I definitely want to eat that. Do you want to do that for dinner?
From the grocery store?
Yeah. Do you want to do the smoke thing and, like, call it in?
Yeah.
And get, like, a smoked... Yeah, you could do sandwiches or just eat it as a chunk of meat. Do, like, mushrooms and... Oh, like peppers, mushrooms, and onions. Do sandwiches. Yeah. And if we want it smoked, it takes 3 hours.
Okay, so maybe I'll do this tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Yeah, we'll shoot for that better tomorrow.
That way it's a short day.
Yeah.
That way I can bring some give me all
Oh yeah, today's Tuesday. I'm gonna be fucked off all week because of it. I was fucked off last week because of that extra day. I'm sitting here thinking it's Monday. Wednesday. Yeah, I don't know. I don't fucking know. My brain's all fucked off. Fair enough. So then, yeah, and tomorrow, I will either go with you or you can take the Umpqua card and buy it on that.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if they just have the standard for the pay test. Like, whatever that she gave us, that was good.
Yeah, that was good. But I think, like, just a good, maybe big, like, bulky rolls.
Like healthy?
Yeah, with some, like, mushrooms and onions. And I'll do up, if you get, like, a green pepper.
Philly cheesesteak.
Yeah, kind of.
Like, I think.
Fair enough. Alrighty. Yeah, that's a big one, Leon. Like, people don't really. There are definitely people around. Me and Anna are some of those people, but like, there are an overwhelming amount of people that have the ability to like get somebody a meal that hasn't eaten in a few days, and they just choose not to. Oh, fair enough. Fair enough, Twit. That makes sense. So yeah, that's the standard here is 3 meals per day, but like they're large American meals, so like it is like because I've seen it. If you get a kid-size portion here, like you order off the kids menu, that's a standard portion at any other place in the world. And then like the normal adult meal is twice, 2 or 3 times more than what the serving size is supposed to be, like what the recommended normal meal is. And like we don't have very like it got brought up again yesterday that the whole list of foods and drinks that are sold in the U.S. that just are illegal in most other places. Like you are not allowed to fucking even ship them into the country. Like they're illegal. And they like treat them like hard drugs. And like it's a staple in every fucking house here. You know what I mean? Well, that's what I noticed going through like the Middle Eastern countries like Syria, Libya, Afghanistan, Iraq, different parts of Africa. Like people just, it was more community centered. It wasn't like here it's household centered. You only worry about the people under your own roof, and there it's like you worry about everybody in your community. And like that's the thing. If you're not able to help, like I can't be like, you know, I got a bill coming up and I have just enough money to pay the bill and then buy someone a meal. I can't do that. But if I have enough money to buy somebody a meal and pay my bill, like I'll do it. It's hard in the area because we have other issues that most other countries don't have, like how many people are homeless, addicted to drugs, and how many people are just on drugs. So it's hard when you have, you know, flying signs that say, you know, I haven't eaten in a couple days, anything helps. But that's not the case. They're just looking for drugs, so it becomes a balancing thing. I've never heard her make noise when she was doing it before. That low. Oh. Yeah. I'm up from my nap, so now you're up from your nap. We have 5 dogs, so I was watching one of the females try to play with the other female. But they're on different nap schedules, I guess. Yeah, and here the people exploiting help are majority is the problem. Like the amount of people screaming that they need help is way the fuck more than the people who actually need help. So, and it's hard. Like, how do you look at somebody and gauge if they actually need help or not? So it polarizes again, and it's either I'm going to help all of them or none of them. It's how society evolved. Like before, it was you had to survive as a tribe, like the survival, and now you can do it independently. It makes it fucking like there are tons of people who are independently fine. They handle themselves on their own. Like I've done it in the past. I'm capable of doing it. I'm capable of supporting a family. Like I can do all that. But it's holy shit. It'd be a lot easier if like, you know, just even small stuff like your neighbor coming over and helping you with groceries, like things like that. That's not a thing here. But yeah, I think most people I know don't eat 3 meals a day. They might do like breakfast and lunch, or like lunch and dinner maybe. I know a lot of people that don't like breakfast. Yeah, Americans in general are really fucking cold. Or they'll tell you about their problems. Like here, it's very much my problems are the only problems that are problems. Go fuck yourself. And like a lot of other places, it turns to like you kind of just inherently focus on your problems last. And it's easier that way because, like, you know, even if you're just like, you know, tag team in life with your neighbor struggles, you help them. And then when it's your turn to struggle, they help you. Like, even just that little shift in dynamic it's more efficient, is what it ends up being. Because if someone lags behind and they go from 100% to 60, you know, the neighbor can go up and fill in the slack, take a little bit of their downtime or whatever, and cover your slack a little, you know, mow your lawn or whatever. And you do that, it ends up averaging out to higher. And it's a more consistent kind of wellness and growth. It's not because like I'm not a health, like my mental health stuff is there, so like I don't have the luxury of being the same level of okay for a long thing, and I almost couldn't use my shoulder at all. Like my whole arm was dead, and it fucking like miraculously overnight knotted. I had these big fucking cords. Like she was trying to massage it, and she couldn't even feel where my shoulder blade was. Like the only real prominent thing on your back, and it was just like hidden. So like it's stuff like that. Like, you know, I would have been fucking hyper appreciative if I was just sitting here on the couch and looked out the window and the neighbor was mowing the lawn. I'd be like, oh fuck yeah. But it's the same thing, like being in the Middle East for so long, like being out on a patrol and meeting people, and they'd be like, "Oh, you want to come over and like eat?" And like you'd go there that night to have food, and it would be like, rice and chicken, or usually rice and curry. Meat's not really a commonplace thing for most people there. But you're looking at them like these people don't have anything, and they're just sitting there smiling. They're legitimately happy, and like that you're just having dinner with them. It depends on kind of where you're at. But yeah, no, that's not super commonplace. Again, it's you focus on yourself. You know what I mean? Yeah, and there's just food. It's just like I don't know, like we do like events here kind of thing, like Friendsgiving, like for Thanksgiving or whatever. I know it's very specific to the US, but you'll do like a potluck, everybody will go over for food or whatever, but it's not really like a hey, I wonder what the neighbor's doing. I'm gonna go over there and talk. Like we bump into each other. I've had a lot of in passing conversations with both our neighbors and like the people across the street. And this past winter, we had went for a walk. Was this past winter or last winter? But a winter, and there's someone that just moved in and they're out shoveling. And we chatted with them for a little. I could see that. I've always offered food and drinks. Like, yeah, burnout's the thing, and like it's kind of like a weird thing. But when you're doing really like just well overall, like mentally and physically and emotionally well, you're a lot busier usually, and time fucking goes by really fast. It feels like that's the feeling of like there's not enough hours in the fucking day. It's because you're like doing okay. Or like if you're depressed and just having a really fucking hard time, the days last fucking forever. If you're awake, most people that are depressed sleep all the time. But yeah, like a little bag of chips or something. A Danish, like something like same thing. I'm not like having someone show up like I and be like offer a cup of coffee, like go dig through the cupboard and see if you can find it with that group of people in particular. Like if we were hanging out any considerable amount of time, food would be brought up, like ordering a pizza or something, But here you plan to entertain company. It's not people just show up in our company. You plan for it. It's way ahead of time. Unless you have friends like mine that will just occasionally get shit-faced and just show up at your house. But that's only happened once in about the whole time I've lived here, so that's not too bad. But yeah, Twit, there's usually like we've had people just kind of chilling in the Discord, and on voice calls again and stuff. So if you ever need someone to talk to, I highly recommend you pop in there. Especially since I started doing the YouTube thing, there's been a lot more people coming into the Discord from YouTube. Yeah. Oh, so you'd have like straight up just like, you'd keep a stockpile of guest food. I've been talking about it enough. I should probably do the Discord links anywhere. Should make a habit of every now and again dropping the Discord. So if anybody's interested, this is the Discord link, and it's a mental health community, and like just a place to talk, meet friends, all that stuff. I thought this was supposed to be right click. Can I copy a link like that? Yeah, the YouTube folks have been kind of cool. Well, that doesn't work. not letting me right click. It's a new laptop. It's Anna's laptop, and it doesn't appear to like to play too nice with things. Also, I'm not familiar. Like the one laptop I owned had a trackpad like this, and I just straight bought a mouse for it. Like I'll just plug a mouse into this shit. There you go. Anybody on the YouTube side, I don't think anybody's really there. But if you are there, we have a mental health community on Discord. Like people talk, they meet up and chat and play games, share music, poems, stuff like that. It's a cool little spot. People come and go. We initially had a good wave of people that were like, because like if you stream or whatever, like you can post that you're going live and shit. And that's fine. But we had a couple people that were trying to use the Discord as like a jumping off point for their Twitch community, and it just did not work. Kind of funny. Have you like talked to her at all, Twit? Like even said hello, introduce yourself, any of that? Or you just kind of look at her in passing? How do you approach somebody at work? You don't. That's always my standpoint. I've met people that have started dating at work, and it just kind of always seems to go bad. The only thing I've ever seen that was like kind of worked out okay was they were already married and they got the job. So like they were married prior to working with each other, and even then it caused a fucking weird amount of drama. I've always held to the you never shit where you eat. I would honestly just stick with that. If it's at work, just stick with that. Oh, you don't mean as a coworker? It's approaching somebody while they're doing their job. Like you don't work with her. That's just she's at work when you see her. I guess you don't. I still think the answer's still the same. You don't hit on somebody and try to like flirt with them and get their number and ask them out.
What job are they doing?
I don't know what type of job, but I would assume it's like a grocery store or something.
Why not?
Because
I would say yes.
See, and I have like my background is my sister's working as waitresses and shit, and how frustrating it is to get hit on all day because it's not just one person that's going to do it.
Maybe she doesn't get hit on all day.
Fair enough. It's a big facility, and she's kind of a coworker. It's not a mental health facility, is it? I have to ask because, you know, if it's like someone at your therapy office, probably not. Or maybe, I don't know, if she's not your fucking therapist, I guess there's no real issue. Oh, Leon, thank you very much for the follow. Yeah, no worries, Leon. It was really nice meeting you. I look forward to talking to you more. Oh, okay, so it's like we have places like that too. So it's like a place to like get back on your feet type of thing. So like we have it here in town. They help you like get a resume and do all that stuff.
So she works there?
So she works there. Fair enough. So it's like a transitional program. I mean, I would just say like you can just start with small talk. Like you introduce yourself and like, hey, how's your day going? It'll get you a little further than just kind of staring at her every time you're there. You can say hello.
So my question is she trying to get on her feet? Because if she's trying to get on her feet, then like
yeah, that's
if she's not trying to get on her feet and she's like stable, then like hey, like
Okay. She's an attendee. Gotcha. So it's a mix of people with mental health issues and that have just got out of jail. It's hard because I don't know her. I know you a little bit. My instinct is just tell you to stay away from trying to put your penis in crazy. Yeah, which is good, and it's also like a I don't know. Go with your gut, I guess. My advice is probably not good advice. You should ask her out for coffee or something. You know, I would probably start either way with just saying hello. You can introduce yourself. You're also in a different social construction where like yeah. So you just start saying hello. Invite her out for coffee or something, or go for like a walk to the park or some shit. You know, worst you can do is say no. Like rejection sucks, but like it's not a big deal. It's not like you ask her out, you lose a person in your life because she's not really in your life. You know what I mean? You were supposed to take the money from her, but you were scared? I don't understand that at all. I know what a woman is, money is, and fear is, but all of that together I don't understand. But I guess that's if I had to like give my actual honest opinion. If you're there because of more or less mental instability and she's there because of more or less mental instability, you probably don't want to mix. Hmm. Yeah, it sounds like you have bigger things to focus on, really. Like you're a cashier and you can't take money from her. There's other stuff to focus on rather than dating, I would say. So, and like you just said, it's your purpose to be there is to get on back on your feet. Dating somebody or commingling is not getting back on your feet necessarily. So, I would say just try to focus at the task at hand for now. Yeah, it's probably not. It doesn't sound like it's a place for romance at all. It's kind of it's like yeah. So task at hand. Freeze. What's going on, dude? Hey, Ben, man. Been good. Been playing some games. What games have you been playing? I've been good. I've been mainly just working and trying to rest. Um, but I quit smoking about a week and a half ago, so I'm feeling a lot better. So I'm getting a lot more rest with like a lot more rest with less sleep, which is still kind of it's weird, but it's kind of how it worked out. Work's going. It's a shit show, but it's going well. Another weird combination. Oh, Counter Strike. Fair enough. I've never played it. I've seen it played, and I've seen like people spend ungodly amounts of money opening crates, like tens of thousands of dollars in a whack opening stuff for cosmetics. Well, I guess it's not just for cosmetics; it's gambling, because I know some of those things are worth thousands of dollars if you can get them. But yeah, that's just about it. Things are it's turbulence because the place just started opening, so it'll equalize. I've been put in a spot to help equalize it. So overall, it's going really well, though. Yeah. It's one of those, like, I'm in a place where, like, I could complain if I chose to, and I'm able to choose not to. No, still the same situation. Oh, you're welcome, buddy. Just don't. I would encourage you not to put the cart before the horse. You gotta get yourself mentally well and like back on your feet and stuff. That's like first things first type of stuff. How's things going with your mom? I haven't heard an update on that. Is she still out on holiday or is she back now? Oh, that's good news. The not drinking part will probably help out a lot of stuff. Like I get it. I get the desire to drink and be drunk. Yeah, be quiet. I get to move my feet too. Ow. You'll have a key to your own office. Did you get a promotion or something, or they decide you just needed an office, or what? That's big updates. Yeah, it's the case with a lot of people that are, drinking or doing drugs. They are good people. It's just you can't really tell when they're on it. You know what I mean? So that'll be good. Start figuring out what's going on, physically recovering from it. Oh, they decided to give you a key. I understand. Oh, hell yeah. Were you having issues with like people going into your office when you weren't there or something, or? Oh, I heard beeping. Let's see. Let's give me the opportunity to see how it interacts when I go from one headphone to the other. The one I'm using right now is dead. Still saying it's working, so I would guess so. I mean, at least that gives you something to do. Gives you something like meaningful to do on the days. Gotcha. So just gives you that feeling of security to have the lock there. That makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, most people have a tendency to feel more comfortable if their stuff's locked behind a door. People can only fuck with your shit if they have the opportunity to fuck with your shit, type of thing. It makes sense to me, sir. Oh, I gotcha. So they don't really have a full-on reason to be in there. Yeah, it's good. Hold on to the fact that you're feeling good lately. Well, I think that's it for me, guys. I'm going to wrap up the lab here. It was nice chatting with everybody. If you need anything, reach out in the Discord. Hit us out there, get involved, you know. And I'm glad everything's going well for you, Twit. I know there's some yucky going on, but I'm glad for the most part they're on the upswing.